Hey everyone, welcome to my show and tell. This is gonna go entirely unscripted, though I have kind of an idea of what I'm going for, so let's get started. For my show and tell, I'm gonna be talking about every single controller I own. Yeah. Oh, wait a minute. It seems I'm forgetting one, actually. Let me get it out before I start. I'm gonna upload this entirely unedited because I'm lazy. Don't look at that. That's a spoiler for what's happening. AK, you got in my way of my controller pile. AK, you got in my way of my controller pile. AK, you got in my way. AK, I'm gonna move you. There you go. Okay, so what we're doing is we're gonna go through all of the controllers based on how old they are, if I remember correctly. I'm gonna be going on based on when the controller is actually released and not based. No, that's stupid. I'm gonna be going on based on what console they're for. There. And if they're meant for like mostly PC usage, then I will be doing them last. So first off in the video, so that's the first one. The second one, so I'm counting this as a SNES controller, despite the fact it is not meant for the actual original SNES, but it is an SNES controller officially. This is just for the SNES Mini, the SNES Classic, but we're gonna judge it based on the actual this. So honestly, I haven't used this in a really long time, and just based on my initial reactions, it's pretty comfy to hold, though honestly, I'm not a fan of these buttons. They're kind of poopy. The D-pad is really stiff too. Oh, I can press down every single button. Look at that. Can you see that? Start and select is whatever. I like the shoulder buttons. They feel nice. I'm sure they were responsive for whatever games I used it for. But like, not a fan of the face buttons. I like the concave on X and Y. I know for the Famicom version with the different colors here, they're all convex. But I think the concave with the convex, it fits comfortably. This is a very comfortable controller. Though, oh yeah, did I say I'm gonna rate these based on out of 5 stars. I'm not gonna go to 10. That's a bit too complicated. I'm doing this based on 5 stars. So I don't know. I'm gonna give this like a 2.5. It's pretty average. I'm sure if this was used more, it would be. Nah. I'm gonna change it. This is like a 2 star. 2 out of 5. The D-pad is really tough. It's like I'm using a lot of force to push it in. I can excuse the buttons because they're just kind of whatever. They're not very tactile, to be honest. But like this D-pad, it's like hard. So that gets a 2 out of 5 stars. If I think of editing this, I'll put it on screen. Next is a batch of N64 controllers. We're gonna go in order of most N64 like to least N64 like. So let's go for it. Now, shocking as it may seem, I don't actually own an official GameCube controller. GameCube? That's not true. We'll get to that in a bit. I don't actually own an official N64 controller, unfortunately. So we're gonna have to go with this, which is a Hyperkin third-party controller. And honestly, like, it feels pretty good. It's not one-to-one to an original, because I remember what an original feels like. But it's like, it's pretty solid. Again, the D-pad is quite hard, but it's a lot more tactile than an SNES controller. Like, you can really feel when you push that button. The stick is nice. I wish the gates were a bit more, I don't know, harsh, because it feels smooth using it. It feels smooth, even though there is an octagonal gate there. If you've never seen an N64 controller, it's got a big button on the back, big thing in here for memory cards or the Rumble Pack, which I do have, but we're not reviewing that. And you know, I like this color. I think this might be a big hot take. I really do like the N64 controller. It's a nice like grip. I really do like these grips. Even though this isn't official, but official controllers have this bump back here. It fits really nicely in your fingers. It just feels good, even if you're using the D-pad for like Kirby 64 and the Crystal Shards. That's a good controller. Now I know with the original stick, it's not the best, and I've always agreed with that. But this one, it's not too bad. I'm gonna give this like a 3 stars. I really do like this one, but it's not my go-to. The next one, it's another N64 controller. This is, you know, I thought this was a Hyperkin. I was wrong. This is a retro bit. This is the Tribute 64. Now, if those of you who are N64 freaks, you probably will recognize how this one looks. And it looks very similar to the Hori Pad Mini for the N64. It's not one-to-one. It's a little bit fatter. But, you know, this one is definitely pretty high up there in terms of comfort. I think it's a little dumb that there's 2 Z buttons. Like, why would you do that? I don't know. Because then when, you know, you're playing every N64 game, like, I don't know, let's say you're playing Mario 64, your fingers are going to be resting like this. That feels off. So I wish that, you know, it was just R back here. Though I will say, these shoulder buttons. Hey, AK, what are you doing? Hey, you can't be in there. Little bird, get out of there. I don't know what she's doing. These shoulder buttons for L and R, it's pretty solid. I think they're a little wobbly. You see that? Like, the button's in the middle here, but you can see how much, like, it raises at the end there. It's, like, wobbly. Now, the Z buttons, they're not the best, unfortunately. But, you know, I've always loved the N64 gray color. And honestly, like, this stick feels really good. And it's based off of a GameCube controller. And I know you can't hear it, but, like, oh man, these face buttons feel fantastic. This D-pad is okay. I don't know why they put it right in the middle. It looks a little off center. I wish they shifted it over just a little bit, you know, just put the left and then it'd be fine. But you're not using the D-pad that much in N64 games anyway, so you know what's the problem? But these buttons feel great. This is a really, really tactile controller. I can imagine some competitive N64 user using this controller. These buttons feel great. And for that, I'm gonna give it 3.5 out of 5. Like this stick and these face buttons just feel so good. I'm not giving it any higher because I've done some testing with this stick and the values are all weird. It's a very touchy stick, and you don't really want that in any controller. But overall, like, comfy, it's got all the functionality, and it feels really nice to use. So 3.5 out of 5 for the Retrobit Tribute 64 controller. Now, on to the next one. There we go. This is the Retro Fighters Brawler 64. Now this one was talked about quite a lot when the originals came out. This is the wireless variant. I do have the wired one, but they're practically the same aside from a small weight difference and okay. This wireless one doesn't have rumble, but truth be told, you don't need rumble in N64 games. It's a nice thing to have, you know, if you got a game with rumble on it, but you don't need it. It was in that transitionary period. But you know, this controller really does feel good. My biggest complaint with it, to be honest, is these triggers feel like they're in a really awkward position. And if we were talking about the original wired version, honestly, it would be even lower of a score, because on the wired version, these triggers are treated as if they're analog. They would go all the way down, and despite it feeling nice, they felt good to push down. The N64 doesn't have any analog triggers. The only analog it has is the stick. But you know, it's a really nice, solid controller. I really do like it. You got turbo on it, which, who gives a fuck? This has the same issue, though, of 2 Z triggers. I understand it's meant to emulate a sort of modern controller, and that's fine. But why 2 Z triggers? You don't need that. You just need 1. Make this like R, so that way it's natural. Make this an extra Z if you need. People don't use L for anything. That's used for taunting in the original Smash Bros. But you know, the buttons feel nice. Honestly, the C-pad, I wish was a little easier to press, but like these face buttons, they feel good. Another small complaint, this stick is a bit funny. See how rounded that is? It's dome shaped. It's fine, you know, but if you're getting like really sweaty, and I'm sure if this got a lot of use, this would wear down and it'd be quite slippery. But you know, with some light usage, this is like my main N64 controller I use. It's pretty good. I like it. So I'm gonna give this a 4 out of 5. I really do like this one. I recommend it if you don't like normal N64 controllers. So yeah, the next one. Did I say that was our final N64 controller? I kind of lied. Now, this one's gonna look kind of funny. I know. This looks like an original N64 controller. However, a few things. Turn that down, actually. Can the camera stop adjusting the lighting so much? Whatever. Hey, Cam, I'll put you down on the floor, okay? So this one is the last N64 controller we're looking at, because this is in fact the 8-bit do modded N64 controller. Now this shell came from a third-party USB N64 controller, and honestly, that one was pretty good. I did like the stick. It felt just about the same as an original N64 controller, but it had like a cover so dust couldn't get down into there and ruin it. It felt pretty good. It was pretty much 1-to-1, and with this 8-bit do mod, it's pretty much 1-to-1 again, but with a better Hall effect stick. This is a GameCube style stick, and much more so than the Hyperkin version we looked at a few minutes ago. Now, this one's the last out of the N64 bunch because it is in fact technically not for the N64. This is for the Nintendo Switch, and recently the Switch 2. It got an update for it. And it's fantastic. It feels like an N64 controller, just with the better stick. It's got rumble. It has, you know, the extra buttons for the Switch Online app, and you can pair it. You can switch it to Switch or direct input mode. It's got a nice weight to it, just like if you had a rumble pack. Now, unfortunately, this will not work with an N64 straight out of the box because, you know, wireless. And even if you got it to work, this is a proprietary connector in here. I can take it out, but that is not the usual connection. Those are just pins. Those are big fat pins. And this doesn't even have the battery. This is basically just like the Bluetooth receiver and some extra buttons and a spot to charge the battery. However, doesn't mean it's bad. Like, this is really good. Even this D-pad feels great. I know you can push it down all the way on all 4 buttons, but like it just feels good. I'm gonna give this one a 4.5. I really do like this one. It's my preferred N64 controller if I'm playing N64 games. I love it that much. Now, on to our second generation of consoles, the GameCube. I got 3 to show off today. Here is the original GameCube controller. Now, this is not one of the original released ones because, you know, this is still first party. This is the best quality that it's gonna be. It's a little dusty because I haven't used it in a long time. This is like a fantastic controller. It feels really good. Now, there is a small complaint that I have with GameCube controllers. The sticks kind of lock in directions. They want to go in the directions they're meant to go. You know, if you want to do like a small input in a very slight direction, it is going to want to push you a little bit to go in like one of these directions. I'm not even hitting the edge there. But other than that, like, this feels really good. The stick is so perfectly grippy. It is satisfying to just do that, even with the C-stick. Triggers, I've always liked analog with a button at the bottom. That is a perfect trigger design, and I wish Nintendo kept that forever. They could have just made it better. Just analog, and then you get a physical button at the end, so you know when that bottom is hit. So if you want to do soft press, you can, and then you get to the bottom, boom, full send. Say it's a driving game. Oh, you want to go a little slow? And then you gotta speed up. You know, click that button at the end there. I love this controller to bits. Yeah, people don't like the D-pad. I don't really care for it either. It's fine. Again, with the N64, you don't really use the D-pad that much. If you're playing like on a GBA player, sure. The Game Boy player for the GameCube, sure, I can understand if you want a D-pad. But, you know, you have a GameCube to play GameCube games. So I'm gonna give this a 5. I really, really love the GameCube controller. It is so wonderful. This is also, you know what? I haven't even talked about cable length. This one's great. The cable length is very long because it was a modern release GameCube controller. I'm gonna go back for a second. This one, the cable length is pitiful. That's also a reason why I gave it 2. It's a very short cable, which sucks. Because it was released in what? 2017, 2018? I think it was 2017. Yeah, sucks. So our second GameCube controller isn't even a GameCube controller. It is a GameCube styled controller. This is a Power A GameCube controller for the Nintendo Switch. And you know, it's not bad. Like, it's pretty light. I wish it wasn't. Do I even have batteries in here? I don't. If I had batteries in there, it'd be a bit heavier. It's okay. It's got gyro. Now, with recent releases of this controller, there's a few different versions. Not just color-wise, but this is like one of the original released ones. If you were to press in the analog stick, it would be just like GameCube, where it would have an analog and then a button. The Nintendo Switch doesn't have analog triggers. So it was a bunch of extra travel time until you hit that button. Now, I've made a modification. I've stuffed a Q-tip into the holes of these triggers. So now they have no travel time anymore. They feel like it's a button. So, you know, I just don't use this very much. I think GameCube controllers on modern games is kind of weird. And even for Smash, I'd rather just use an actual GameCube controller. This D-pad is okay. Again, you're not using a GameCube controller for the D-pad. It's fine. I think the texture they chose is really weird. It's like rubbery, the whole thing. It's like a stiff rubber. I don't like the texture. It's also like gone yellow. I don't know why it's done that. I don't leave my controllers out in the sun. But yeah, I don't know. I'm just gonna give this a 2.5 out of 5. It's fine. Like, if you don't want an original GameCube controller, but you'd like how they feel and you want one for your Switch, sure. Sure. It's fine. It also has stick flick. So it has every single button you need. But it's just like, I don't really see the point for it. It's fine. So next on the list, we got another GameCube controller. What's different about this one? One, don't mind the D-pad. I'll talk about that in a second. This is another 8BitDo modded controller, similar to the Last in 64 controller I talked about, the black one. A couple things about this. This is a third-party shell, not meant to be taken apart because the controller was third-party. I just ripped out the shell. Don't do that. I'll explain why in a second. And I have this separated D-pad. This helps you get, the precise inputs that you want. And I like the way it looks. I think it looks pretty cool. I wish I could get, the proper gray color, but yeah, I like it. Now this controller is awesome. This is definitely one of the best. I'm really glad 8BitDo has done this. Like, this is so wonderful and perfect. However, what the fuck is this? This is how you charge it. With this. Plug this in, and you put this in here. Doink. Now, I should explain, on an actual N60, on an actual GameCube controller shell, this thing would be sitting flush. It'd be sitting like this, and it'd be really stable. But because of the fact I put it in a third-party shell, It's got some wiggle room. Another thing with this third-party shell, the edges are sharp, man. Like, it's comfy. It feels like a GameCube controller, and I really, really like it. I would recommend it to anyone who wants a wireless GameCube controller without spending a fortune on a Wavebird. It's good. Just don't use this shell. Don't buy a third-party controller and use their shell. If you want a different shell, get a shell specifically made to be reshelled. Those work fine. This is annoying. You might be able to notice these X and Y buttons are not original. That's from the third-party shell, because original GameCube X and Y buttons do not fit in this shell. Besides all that, this is awesome. It doesn't come with the receiver. You have to buy it separately, but you can get a receiver to put it in a GameCube, and you can get a wireless GameCube controller for way cheaper than a Wavebird. It's awesome. And you can use that receiver for any other controller. Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo Switch Pro controllers, some 8-bit do controllers, some. It hasn't been updated quite all the way, but it's just awesome controller. I really, really like this. I give it a 5. So cool. You know, a 5 minus all of the complaints I had because I'm stupid. Next in the list, I believe this is the same generation. Yes, it is. We got... Second. I'm unraveling the cable. We got the Duke. Yes. Now, I know this looks a little unwieldy, and it is, but I'm going to be so honest. It doesn't feel that bad. The buttons are a little mushy, I'll admit. And I think this is kind of funny. But like, it's got all the modern buttons besides like a home button, which kind of sucks. It's got analog triggers, 2 slots for memory cards. It feels kind of nice. Honestly, it feels pretty nice in the hand. I think people are kind of crazy for saying this is like the worst controller ever, right next to the N64 controller. It's just big. It's comfy. It's just big. Now, I'm going to talk about a few things specifically with this Xbox controller, with this Duke controller. You might notice a hole. That's because this plastic has become, like, really brittle. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's Duke controller specifically. This plastic has gotten really, really, really brittle. So much so, one screw fit. One. I don't even know which hole it's in. Oh wait, you can actually kind of see. One. There's one. Oh, there's a second one. Okay, 2 screws fit. Everything else, the pegs inside this controller, when I took it apart to clean it, fell apart. It just fell apart. So I've resorted to super glue on the bottom. Don't do this to your controllers. Really bad idea. But you know what? This D-pad's kind of funny. I do like the Duke controller, minus like all the problems that I have with it. With this one specifically, I kind of like it. It's goofy. It stands out. It's got this big jewel in the middle to show you, yeah, I'm an Xbox controller. Honestly, I'm going to give it a 3 out of 5. And these analog triggers are nice and firm too. Like, you have control. You're not gonna be shaking around with this. And also these have pressure sensitive buttons. I don't know what games use that. I know the PS3 also had pressure sensitive buttons. Whatever. I like this controller. 3 out of 5. And also, my biggest complaint with it is that it's really hard to set up on a PC because, you know, it's not meant for a PC. I even bought this USB adapter for the controller. It doesn't work. You have to download a driver that only works sometimes. I don't know why it doesn't work for me. So, next on the list, unfortunately, we don't have a PS3 controller, and I do not own one anymore. I've given it to Carl. Oh my god. You know, if it was here, I'd probably also give it like a 3. I think the buttons on a PS3 controller feel really nice, but I don't like the form factor. The grips are too small. But that being said, let's move on to the next controller I own. The Wiimote Nunchuck. Now, I'm gonna say, this is just a picture. It's not with me. I own it. It's just not with me. Honestly, it's a good controller. I like it. That's pretty much all I have to say. I think it's fun. I think Sideways Wiimote, it's kind of stupid, but it's a good controller. I'm gonna give it like 2.5. There's nothing offensive about it. It's just middle of the road. It's whatever. I won't go too deep into that because it's not here. But next generation of consoles. Yeah, here we go. A DualShock 4. Now, I used to be a bit of a stickler towards any PlayStation controller. I never liked this bottom stick layout here, but you know, it's grown on me. This is a pretty comfy controller. A big step up from the DualShock 3. I think all these buttons, they feel great. The battery life is fine, considering this is a very new generation of this controller. Original PS4 DualShocks did not have good battery life. They are bad. And I like this light. I like that it shines through this the touchpad here. The touchpad, it has button. Feels pretty good. It's a good click. Honestly, I have no complaints about the controller. It's solid. I'm gonna give it like a 3. It's a good controller. I got nothing. I think this is a nice color. Anyway. And that's it for that generation of consoles, because I don't have any more. Next. It is... I guess it's the Switch controllers. Sorry to spoil it for you. Now, luckily, despite the fact I do not use my Nintendo Switch anymore, I still have Joy-Cons. Now, obviously, these are reshelled, so we're not going to take away any points from that. I always thought the Joy-Cons were cute. After using the Switch 2 for a while, it's kind of put it in perspective that it's just okay. It's fine. I think the buttons feel good. The biggest thing I have, two biggest things I have. One, the size. They're really small. These are really small. Two, the sticks do not feel good on Joy-Cons. These feel really bad. What was that? The fuck? Anyway. They feel like clicky, almost. It feels almost like an arcade stick, where it's got like hat switches or something. But it's not. It's an analog stick. It's just weird. And if we were to... We're gonna judge it also with the grip. This is going into the total score of Joy-Cons. It helps a little bit. I think the grip is fine. There's nothing offensive about it. It's okay. You know, you start with this. It's okay. This is a charging grip, so it's got a little more weight, but we're not considering that. It's just kind of whatever, you know. Yeah, I'm gonna give these like 2.5 out of 5. Yeah, a 2.5 out of 5. They're just whatever. I think all the buttons are really solid and it feels good. It's just these sticks, and it's so small. It's so tiny. Next on the Nintendo Switch docket. Boom. Now, these are new sticks. We're not going to judge it for that. The Pro Controller. The Nintendo Switch Pro Controller. I really like this controller. It's very nice. I think the buttons feel good. Triggers feel good. I wish the buttons were a little more responsive. They feel just a tad bit mushy. I wish they were closer to like the D-pad. But, you know, it's a nice controller. If it's very comfy, the triggers feel good. Again, I wish Nintendo kept analog triggers similar to the GameCube. It's solid. It's solid. I like it. It's a good controller. I don't know what to say. It's 4 out of 5. It's got gyro. Yeah, 4 out of 5. Next on the Nintendo Switch docket. This one's a bit silly. This one's a little bit silly. Ooh, actually, I don't know which one to go for first. Let's do this one. This one's a bit stupid. I don't like it. I don't know why I have this. Truth be told. Truth be told, I don't know why I have this. I don't like it. The buttons feel fine. The D-pad is fine. These sticks. God, these sticks. They feel okay when you're using them, but do you see how huge this is? My thumb just slipped. It doesn't get a grip, and these outer rings here just hurt. It's dusty because I don't use this controller. It's not even wireless. This is a wired controller that you can just unplug. There's no battery in here. I don't even get the excuse of it being a wireless controller. No, this is a wired controller, and it just sucks. I don't like it. It has one thing going for it. Again, I don't care. You can swap the sticks. What the fuck? Oh, there we go. That was weird. It's whatever. They're not even magnets. They just kind of snap in, which makes me think that it'll just fall apart someday. I don't even know if that clicked in. It didn't. What the fuck? How do I... Jesus. There we go. Yeah, this sucks. I'm gonna give it like 1.5. I think the face buttons feel good and the triggers and shoulder buttons feel fine. It just... I hate this controller. It's just so stupid. Don't use this one. Now the next one is funny. The next two, truthfully. This is another 8-bit do. So it's pretty small. Here's a Mountain Dew voltage bottle for scale. It's pretty small. You know, this is more meant for like your phone, but it had Switch compatibility, which, you know, for some reason I was convinced that, oh yeah, I'll use this on my Switch back in 2017. No. No. Now, I won't say this is a bad controller. In fact, it's really well made. It's from 8BitDo. This is one of their oldest controllers. This is the Nest 30 Pro. Back when they had this weird logo. I don't even know what that is. But everything about this controller was just a hassle to use. If you wanted it to connect to your Switch, you had to use this weird pairing button and like hold down something, and then sometimes it would connect and sometimes it wouldn't. And why would you want to use these sticks anyway? They feel just as bad as Joy-Cons. They're like clacky inside. Not in like an arcade stick way, just like poorer quality. You can click them in, but like it takes so much effort to do that like you're gonna be facing a different direction when you do that, and you cannot hold it down. But, you know, other than the sticks, I think the D-pad feels fantastic. These face buttons are so nice, and it has cool lights around the side to show you whether or not it's in pairing mode or update mode or low battery or charging. It's really cool. I do like this controller. I'm gonna give it a 2 though, because these sticks are abysmal. I don't think they make these ones anymore. If they do, they don't do this NES style anymore. Not this exact one. But it's a nice, like these buttons feel nice. Now, if you want this, but you know, just the buttons, boom. This is the, I spoiled it. Hold on. NES 30 gamepad. Now this one, this feels like an NES controller. Uncomfortableness and all. And it even has 2 shoulder buttons. You can use this in place of a SNES gamepad, SNES. I don't know why you would, but you can. And it's really cool. I don't think they make this one anymore. I understand why. It uses micro USB. That kind of sucks. Pairing this to anything also sucks because the power button is holding start, much like a lot of their other controllers. That's my biggest downside with 8BitDo controllers. But the buttons feel really nice. Like this, it's just a solid controller. I got this because I wanted to play Shovel Knight with a retro controller, and it had all the right buttons. It had every single button you could need. Now here's a cool thing you can do with this like weird cover on it. You know, it's kind of stupid and the paint rubs off really easy. Check this out. It's a phone stand. Now, obviously, if I didn't have a case on, this would be a little different. But you know, it's meant to sit like this, kinda. And then you connect your little thing and you play your emulators. This part's dumb. I think this was such a dumb addition. And it looks stupid. But you know, this controller feels nice. Would I recommend it over an SNES styled controller? No, because God, these edges are sharp. I'm gonna also give this one a 2. It's functional. It's just, you know, why would you want an NES controller? Why did I get this? Oh, so retro. Whatever, man. What's next? Okay. Still on the Switch controllers. We're still on Switch controllers. Here's a nice one. This one was my main controller for the Switch for a long time. For a couple years, I think. Boom. This is the 8BitDo Ultimate Bluetooth. This connects to your Switch and your PC. And since it's the Ultimate version, it has a charging dock. You plug it in the back, boom, charges. So good. And, you know, if you got a PC or something, turn that around. Oh, what's this? What's this on the bottom? Uncover that. Oh, what's this? Boom, USB receiver. Oh, but you know, it's just a storage spot, right? Wrong. That's a real USB port. You know what this is? You plug this in, cover that up, protect it, keep it clean. Plug this into your PC. You know, boom, it's charging, right? You take it off, bam, connects to your PC instantly. Instantly. There is such little time between taking it off and it connecting to your PC when it's on the 2.4 gigahertz mode. I love this controller. I really do recommend it. However, there's a better option now that I don't have, but we will get into later. Now, using this as a Switch controller is really, really nice. It's got gyro. It's got full, you know, these are Hall effect sticks. The buttons are a little mushy, but you can get used to them. They feel good. They're responsive. The shoulder buttons, they're nice and clicky. However, the triggers, womp, womp, they're analog, and that sucks for Switch games. You can use the 8BitDo app to kind of make it so you know, it triggers the activation at a certain point, but analog triggers on a Nintendo Switch, no good. I got used to it, and I love this controller. It's got grips. It's a perfect, like, grip in the hand, and bonus feature, it's got paddles on the back. You use their app to configure what buttons these go to, and you have 3 different profiles. So you switch on through, be like, oh, I'm gonna play Splatoon. Bam, Splatoon profile, jump, sub weapon. Boom, boom, boom. You don't have to take your hand off the stick at all. You just boom, boom, boom. Ah, swimming. Blah. I'm done. I'm gonna put this back. Oh, I feel like playing Steam games on my PC. Take it off, flip the switch. Boom, instantly connected. Fantastic controller. Really, really recommended. Though there is a better version now. That's it for Nintendo Switch controllers. Now, we're on to Nintendo Switch 2 controllers. And obviously, the Joy-Con 2s. And you'd think, I'm sure most of you have a Nintendo Switch. You'd think that, yeah, it's pretty similar, right? Wrong. What an improvement. They're bigger. They feel better. All the buttons just feel good. These shoulder buttons, when you do side, so much bigger. They're easier to press. Oh, it's a little smudged. Oops. And the sticks are so buttery smooth. There is no rattling in there. It doesn't feel like you're playing on an arcade stick. It's so good. Fantastic controller and a wonderful fidget option. I love doing this. When I'm in a loading screen, you know, if you got the straps, you just kind of like click, bam, click, bam, click, bam. I'm not judging the straps because I didn't do it on the other ones, but yeah, you know, whatever. These are so good. And you have a mouse. And it honestly doesn't even feel that bad. It's so nice. Use that for Fortnite. And nothing else. Now we got the grip. Let me just say, maybe I'm glazing the Switch too. Oh. Oh, wow. That is such like a... Like... Ah. And honestly, that's nice. I wish they rounded these corners a little bit more. So that way, you know, it's not digging into your palms as much. I know some people have bigger issues with that. I don't mind. But this is just like... It's so good. The gyro feels better. it just, the sticks are so smooth. The buttons are a little bit bigger and they feel even better. And you get a fidget toy. You know, you can, it's a little bit of hard press, and then, oh, you take it off, and you get a little, just a soft little button. And then, oh. I love the Joy-Con 2s. I'm going to give these a 4.5 out of 5. So, did I rate the last one? This one gets a 5. No, 4.9. I'll explain why. Yeah, these get a 4.5. These are so good. I really do like the Joy-Con 2s. And snapping them onto the console. You know, it's not out of screen, but, like, that just feels so good. Next on the list. Boom! The Switch 2 Pro controller. Again, initial thoughts. It's like the same as the Switch 1 Pro controller. Wrong! The sticks are so smooth on these. You can't even hear them clacking against the plastic because they're specifically designed to not do that. It's so smooth. The biggest gripe with controllers, as much as I love them, that the plastic grinds against each other and you get this powdery substance and it looks bad, it feels bad. You don't get that at all with this one. And everything about the Pro Controller 1, it's all there. It's so good. And you get paddles. They're called grip buttons on the Switch 2, but they're paddles. Man. It's a good fidget. What a lovely little click that you can feel. It's so quiet. And the buttons, you know, being quieter, they don't feel as mushy. Lovely. Awesome controller. 5 out of 5 stars. I highly recommend it if you have a Switch 2. However, this does not work on PC quite yet. You need like a weird workaround, and it's stupid. So don't get this for a PC yet. I do recommend it for Switch 2 though. Like, this is such a good controller. I didn't talk about the game chat button because it's... Who gives a fuck? Oh boy! Another square button. I don't care. This controller gets a 5 out of 5 stars. Oh, it seems I've forgotten something. This is outside of the Switch territory now. Or Switch 2 territory. I meant to do this earlier. This is back. We're going back to the Nintendo Switch. You know, I forget what these are called. There's no branding on them. They do work wirelessly. These are full-size sticks and a D-pad. And you can put this on your Switch. You go slide it right on. Up, snap. You know, you snap. It's okay. I stopped using it because they don't really fit in any Switch case. But you know, the buttons feel nice. I think the shoulder buttons are a little too clicky. There's not much travel. I wish there was a little... I wish it wasn't like such a harsh click. The triggers feel good. They're nice and soft. This grip though, it's so weird. Like, and then you play like this, which is fine because your thumb naturally wants to kind of like go this way. But it's just like, I don't know. I'm gonna give these like a 2.5. There's nothing wrong about them. They're just weird. Also, they do charge on the Switch, but you have an additional option of charging them individually. And if I have it, which I should, Hold on. God damn it, where is it? Oh, it seems... Oh, wait, I found it. They come with their own special cable that I've never seen before and don't know why you would ever want to do it. It's a USB cable, right? Oh, it has a little USB-C end, right? Oh, it's got 2 of them. So you plug it in to charge, and then you plug the controllers in individually. Okay. This is such a niche use. Again, these aren't bad. If you want full-size stick Joy-Cons, they're okay. There are much better options, though. So, yeah, 2.5. They're just kind of whatever. Another set of controllers that I've forgotten. We're out of console range now. We're no longer in console area now. It's been what? Almost an hour? We're no longer in console area anymore. You know where we're at? VR. I'm not going to spend too long on these. The whole point of VR is that you're meant to feel like you're actually interacting with stuff. Unfortunately, you know, there's Quest 2 controllers, might I add. They give you horrible straps and like no grip. So I've added grip to these so that way, you know, you can put it on your hand and let go. So you can be like, hi, instead of being like, hi. You know, that's stupid. But you know, it's comfortable. Put this on. It feels nice. I think these are really nice and smooth. The triggers, again, nice and smooth. The buttons are fine. The buttons feel nice and clicky. The sticks, however, a little disappointing. It has the same issue with Joy-Cons and that old 8BitDo controller, where it wants to, like, click into place. I wish it didn't have that. Or I wish it had octagonal gates. That'd be so perfect for VR, because why would I want to look to the right and slightly up? Or up and to the left, or to the right. But these are comfortable. Like, I think it's fine. I think there's so many, like, cool accessories you can get for them, too. I wish I had the Quest 3, so I could try not having these big, goofy rings. But, you know, they're fine. As controllers, for their platform, I give them a 3.5. They're fine. They work. All right. Now onto some funny stuff. I'm gonna go from most weird to least weird in order. What the fuck is this? Moga? Moga? Ew. Smart lock. Moga. A and B. Moga boost. USB cable. Oh. It's for your phone. Oh, okay. It's fine. It's a little small. You know, it's meant for older phones. And funnily enough, this doesn't work anymore. It's functional. If you can get it to connect to a device, it works. But the app that it wants so it can work correctly is no longer available. This company, as far as I could tell, does not exist anymore. You know, I haven't used this pretty much ever. I just think it's funny. It has all the right buttons. The triggers, I think, are analog, but God, do they suck. They're so wimpy. There's no, like, hard stop. It just kind of wants to keep going, but it's so soft at the end there. It's not very comfortable, you know, with how small it is, but you know, the sticks, they don't feel bad. They have the same clicky, weird feeling. I think it's just the size of the stick and whenever this came out. Fun fact, you charge it down here, and then, you know, if you're gaming on the go with your phone in hand, you get a little cable, boom. You could charge your phone while you game. Who cares? I remember when I was young, I looked up this company. They had bigger versions of this controller that were proper sized, and I'm sure those ones were leagues better. I'm sure at the time this was good. You can use this for Minecraft Pocket Edition if you wanted. But why do that when you can get a Nintendo Switch? I don't know. Yeah, it's fine. I'm gonna give it like 2.5. Like, at the time that I would have used this, I probably would have given it a 3 or a 3.5, because it's a neat little thing, you know? You play Minecraft on the go, get all the buttons here. But, you know, now it doesn't really work anymore. So 2.5. No, 2, because these triggers are so abysmal. And also A and B. A and B. What is B for? I think A is for Android. So what? D input? Who gives a shit? Next on our list, this guy. Now this guy's special. I haven't used it in quite a long time because I like other controllers more. What a weird controller. This is the Steam controller. I believe it released in like 2013. This is so ahead of its time. Genuinely. I think if they released something similar to this, same concept, now, it would probably do a lot better. But it is so clunky and like so bad and perfect at the same time, because using a trackpad as a right stick to like simulate mouse movement is so genius, and it makes this controller work with basically every game. Also, big benefit, this thing took notes from the GameCube controller. You got analog, and then boom, a click. So good. The shoulder buttons suck. I hate them. It does have back paddles. Kind of funny to use, but you know, it works. I wish it had a proper... No, I don't know. I'm conflicted about this one. I wish it had a D-pad, but also I don't care enough. Because this left trackpad has so much utility. Because, yeah, you can use it like a D-pad, and it has that groove in there. So, you can use it like a D-pad. But you can customize this thing so much in Steam Input. Like, you can make it, hold it down, just, you know, touch sensitive, because it's a trackpad. Hold it down, and then a little menu can pop up in-game. And you can be like, I want this thing, or I want this thing, or this thing, or, you know... so good. Or you can even be like, I want to gyro aim, hold it down. It has gyro and analog. So good. It's so customizable. And honestly, when you get used to it, it's comfy. It looks horrid, but once you get used to it, it's a comfy controller. I'm going to give it like 3.5. It's very flawed. It didn't get Bluetooth support until way later in its life. And also, I don't know what this USB cable is for because it takes batteries. I will say this is probably the best integration of batteries in controllers because you just, this little thing here, and then you push it back in. And oh, I need to change the batteries. Take it out. Oh, yeah, pop a new one in. Boom, locked in place. Oh, I need to change it. Why don't more controllers have like an eject button in the batteries if they use batteries? It's dumb as hell. Dumb as hell. Yeah, 3 out of 5. It's flawed, but if you can get this cheap, because I got this when Valve was getting rid of inventory and it was on super sale, it was $5. If you can find this for really cheap somehow, really good controller. They are very expensive now. It also comes with a dongle and nowhere to put it. That sucks, but it connects really fast with the dongle. And next, I believe, is our last controller, the very last one. I wish I had more. It turned on. Now, you're probably thinking, this looks exactly the same as this one. It is not. Besides some yellowing, because this is old. I put stick grips on here because, I wanted it, so we're not going to judge it based on that. This is such an improved version over the other one, and they released a Bluetooth one. This is the normal 2.4 gigahertz version, which, kind of sucks, but whatever. I have a Switch 2 Pro controller, and I really like that one. This one is so good. It is my favorite controller really ever. If it had the sticks that the Switch Pro controller did, where it felt like it was like where the plastic wasn't clacking up against each other, that would be so good. But it doesn't, so it's fine. God, it has the same thing. It has a dock with a dongle, a USB-C dongle, which kind of stinks, so you can't connect it to as many things. But it has, better feeling analog triggers. They're so smooth. The shoulder buttons are like mouse buttons. The face buttons feel like brand new Xbox 360 buttons. So good. The D-pad, it's silent and clicky. You can't press down every single button, and it is so clicky. And these sticks are smoother than the first one because they have a little metal thing there to kind of prevent it from rubbing up against each other. And, a little cool factor, it gets lights around the sticks, and you can customize that a little bit. My favorite part about it is when you press buttons, it lights up, and if you use the triggers, it actually shows you how much you're pressing. It's so unnecessary, but I love it. And those ones. And if you use, obviously it lights up there too. But if you're using both sticks, you know, then they're both gonna be lighting up on their own. It's a little hard to tell, but it is. Yeah, see? God, what a good controller. And it has 2 extra buttons on the top, 2 extra on the back, and the best part, and I wish I got the Bluetooth one so I can use it on Switch and Switch 2. See these little switches? It now becomes a digital button. They become full analog, and then just a button in one little switch, and you can do it so fast. Like, oh, I'm playing a racing game. Ooh, I'm playing like a platformer. Button. And it's the same like mouse click almost. It's a little mushier naturally, because you know, as the shoulder button. It's so good. My biggest complaint with this controller, the 8BitDo software sucks. However, Steam recently, and 8BitDo very recently, within the last few months, I think, made it so this version of the controller can be natively read by Steam input, and it has its own icon, and these buttons and these paddles get their own buttons that you can customize in Steam input. Mind blown. And if you use Steam input, it gets native gyro. Now, initially, this got emulated gyro if you're using the 2.4 gigahertz version, you know, with the dongle. So you would press and hold or like toggle it or something, and then, oh, it emulates the right stick or the left stick. That's stupid. They updated it. So if you set it to be via Steam input, so instead of X input, let's say you turn it off, you know, controller's off, hold B, turn it on, it is now in D input mode, so Steam input recognizes it as its own thing. Or you can just connect it to Bluetooth, but I like the faster response time on the dongle. I don't know what the response time is, but it's really fast. Really, really, really fast. And Steam recognizes it as its own thing. So you get full analog triggers, native gyro support, and Hall effect sticks. No, these are TMR sticks. That's like a step above Hall effect. And you get fully customizable 4 extra buttons. You can play anything you want with this. Anything you want. This is such a good controller. I really, really recommend this one. If you have a Switch, get the Bluetooth version so you can play it natively on Switch. And then you can just, you know, oh, I'm playing on Switch. Bap. Got digital triggers. Oh, I'm playing on my PC. Bap. Oh, I got full analog triggers. So good. Fantastic controller. Again, comes with its own charging dock. Connects to your PC. You get a little dongle. I'll show you the dongle. Because, you know, this could be a deal breaker for some people. It is USB-C. Sadly. I know USB-C is like the big thing now, but like, I like full-size USB. It's compatible with more things. Anyway, fantastic controller. I really, really do recommend this one. I'm gonna give this a 5 out of 5. If I could give it higher, I would. Oh my god. Thanks for coming on to my show and tell. Bye. Uh-oh.